evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you're tuning in from and whatever time you're tuning in. First of all, apologies for the late start. We've had a few gremlins, so to speak, on the tech front. We've had to apply plan A, plan B, plan C, but we are all good now and we are live. As I said, guys, welcome again to the third installment of PT Insights. Our first two guests, it's a little bit different tonight. Our first two guests have a little bit more experience in the personal training era. So this week we have tried to 180 a little bit and give it a bit of insight from the other angle. Tonight's guest is Michael Penketh. Welcome along, Michael.
Hi, mate. All right.
Yeah, very good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Thanks.
Fantastic. Michael's been in the PT game a little bit less of time. I'll let him take over and tell us all about it, but it's going to give us another view from the other side. So we're going to apply the same kind of structure to the interview. And as I said, any questions, anyone on the group, I'll keep an eye on that, that you want to post to Michael on that front. Other than that, we will be going up on the replay and hopefully the podcast soon as well. So all things good, we will go ahead on that front. So let's get this rolling. Michael, introduce yourself. Tell us a little bit about yourself, what you do, where you're from, and all of that.
Yeah, so I'm Michael, Mike, whatever anyone really wants to call me. I am, you'd probably say, owner of a company called Atlas Personal Training. Basically, I'm one-man band. It's only me, so owner's a bit sort of grand, I suppose. But yeah, I've been a PT for coming up a year. I'm based in the northeast of England in a town called Redcar, which is just south of Middlesbrough. And yeah, that's me. Basically, I started off working in a gym. Didn't really like the sort of model of the gym. It didn't really work for me. So I thought, I'm going to give it a go on my own. And yeah, here I am, trying to do that.
Super stuff. So tell us a little bit about your time scale, Michael. What actually was the main impetus of why you transitioned into personal training, and how long have you actually been doing it?
Literally only been doing it a year. What sort of gave me the kick up the backside? I've always been very active. Always loved my sport, my cycling, football, running, triathlons, bit of dragon boat racing, which is good fun.
Nice.
But yeah, I think what really gave me the kick up the backside to sort of do it was we had a daughter coming up 15 months ago now. And obviously I was working as a bus driver previously, which is long hours, unflexible hours. And for someone who's fairly active like myself, it's not really the greatest job in the world for sort of getting out there and doing stuff. You sort of sat on your backside 10 hours a day, 11 hours a day. By the time you get home, there's not a lot to do. So it was sort of, I needed something a bit more flexible, a bit more sort of controlled by me. And hopefully some less hours. So I decided to get myself qualified as a PT. Did that in the build-up to having the baby. Also done a nutrition coach qualification through Precision Nutrition, their level 1, level 2. And then literally got lucky, to be honest, with the space in the gym. It was a new gym opening in a town local to me. And they gave me a chance, really. So yeah, it was sort of, the dream was a bit more flexible working, doing something that obviously the passion to me, health and fitness and helping others has always been a passion. So it was sort of, I want to give it a go. I want to see what I can do in this market. And like I said, the gym didn't really work out, but yeah, the solo stuff's going well.
Super stuff. So how long did it actually last at the gym?
2 months, well, you could probably say three or 4 months, but 2 months as the gym was fully open, running, and supposedly working the way it was meant to work. Yeah, well, and don't get me wrong, if I wouldn't be where I am today if it hadn't been for them, because I think it gave me the kick to take the risk. Obviously, I got the qualifications and I was ready to go, but that sort of jump from I'm full-time employed here, earning a relatively decent wage, no need to worry about when the next paycheck's coming in, when the next hours are coming from, to being fully self-sufficient. Without the gym, I wouldn't have done it. I can 100% say that. I know I wouldn't have done. But they sort of promised a lot and didn't really deliver. And for a new PT, I sort of needed the help in terms of how to speak to clients, how to get the clients to talk to me. Obviously, if I could go back now, I'd do things a lot different because obviously I've learned a lot more from the year doing my job. But I think I was a little bit wet behind the ears. I was a little bit new and didn't really. It was a bit like a rabbit in the headlights in the gym. Obviously, you can see from looking at me, I'm not a bodybuilder. I'm not the biggest guy in the world. I've always been an endurance. I've always been an endurance athlete. Love my cycling, love my running, love my triathlon. So really, being massively built isn't what's for me. So to then be in a gym where there was quite a few big guys, to then think, well, how the hell can I help you, sort of thing. And then not really knowing how to approach the sort of treadmill bashes and those on the cardio machines to sort of sell my service. It was sort of a hard time where I was spending like 4 or 5 hours in the gym a day, really getting nothing back from it and just sort of feeling a bit like a spare part, to be honest.
And then, so it was at that point you thought, yeah, it's got to be my own way. So it was pretty much little learning curve, but a very short, eye-opening learning curve.
Yeah, it definitely was. It was something what, if it had gone the way that it was promised to me in interviews, inductions, and in a little bit of training they give me around their products and their sort of services, it would have been fantastic.
Yeah.
Maybe it was me being a bit wet behind the ears and not really knowing a lot what I was doing, or it was them sort of wanting a PT in the gym to sort of cover insurance and that sort of thing, have someone there to help. But it just sort of felt a bit empty and a bit sort of, yeah, we'll help you out tomorrow, we'll help you out next week, we'll do this for you next week, and things never materialised. So I thought, right, I've got to try and do something. And as it happened, while I was there, I sort of picked up a couple of people who didn't want to travel to the gym because it's sort of, I live in Redcar and the gym was in Stockton, so it's about 12 mile away.
Okay.
And I got a few people who were interested in being trained by me, but didn't want to travel to the gym. So I'll just train you outside. Did a bit of bodyweight stuff with them, and really got a taste for it, to be honest, and thought I could really give this a go and do something. So yeah, I got out of the gym.
Yeah, so it's quite a speedy transition in the end then.
Yeah, definitely, yeah.
That's good. I mean, we've talked about this before on our previous episodes, and when myself and Tristan have come on before, saying, you know, that the starting point can be the most difficult. That first jump, those first steps, and we've had people in the group that are, yes, they're, you know, call themselves PTs, but they're still in that initial phase.
Yeah.
And it is so hard that, you know, whether you've got the right support around you, everything else, because getting that first foothold in it can be such a daunting and, you know, difficult thing. Tell us a little bit about that. Have you got quite a good support circle around you, Michael, to go from having that full wage to going, you know, on your own and taking a big step? That's you know, that is a big jump.
Yeah, it was. I mean, yeah, obviously my wife's really, really supportive. Always sort of, yeah, she knew I was sort of not the happiest on the buses, and sort of just ticking over, if you like.
Yeah.
So it was sort of, yeah, if it's your dream, if you want to do it, if you think you can make it work, go for it. And then obviously in terms of the professional side of things, to be honest, when I first started, I didn't really have a lot of support professionally, because obviously the gym was there, but they didn't offer what they were meant to offer. I hadn't yet found this group, and other groups on Facebook and social media, and friends who were people I can now call friends who were PTs, to sort of tap a bit of information. I feel like you sort of, I mean, I set up quite a lot. I pinned all my hopes on the gym. I pinned everything working in the gym for me. And because it didn't, I sort of left. I thought I had an idea, I had the drive, I had the passion, but I didn't have a business plan. I didn't really have a clue where to start with marketing. Thought I knew social media until I started doing it as a business, and it's just ridiculous. Still don't. But yeah, things have sort of, in the year that I've been sort of doing it myself, things have sort of fell into my lap a little bit, if you like. So obviously I found the group, got chatting to yourself and Tristan and the others in the group. Just sort of made myself known a bit. I mean, people probably thought I'd been doing it a bit longer with some of the things that I comment on, because obviously I try and be as helpful as I can. It was something I always, because I didn't get a lot of help in the gym, I always said I want to be the PT that will help others. Yeah, I'm not massively experienced. Yeah, I'm not massively knowledgeable in terms of length of service, but obviously I've got all the knowledge here for how to train, why to train, nutritionally, that sort of thing. And I'm learning the business side of it as I go. So if I can give someone a bit of help, I'm always happy to.
Absolutely. And I think, you know, guys like yourself underestimate how helpful those little tidbits are to other people.
Yeah.
It's almost like because you've done it and it's natural, and it's like, yeah, you know, everyone's at different steps within the process. So, you know, just applying that little tidbits of knowledge, whether you think it's unimportant, it could mean a massive amount to someone else. And that's what I said, like you said, coming in the group and episode, we really appreciate it, because that's what it's all about.
I think you do get a lot of, especially within the gym, PTs are a little bit standoffish with each other, because it is very dog in the gym. Obviously, everyone's trying to get the clients, everyone's the rest of the gym hours, and people are trying to undercut each other, which isn't really great, but it happens, doesn't it? So I think the fact that I didn't get that help, I just thought, right, well, I'm going to give it as much as I can, because really there's nobody, there's other PTs around my area working mobile the same as me. But I don't mind, I'll help any of them out, because I'd hope they'd help me if I needed it, sort of thing, you know. So it's give and take. I want to learn, and I want to try and help others along the way if I can. That's
an awesome attitude. And as I said, it's amazing how many, you know, within that collection, within the group, we've got so many people with the same mindset. So, you know, it's almost like that. Yeah, absolutely. So just drilling down into your business a little bit more, Michael, do you have a niche client that you target, or is it
I think because I'm still fairly new, not massively at the minute.
Okay.
Majority of the clients I've got are sort of general fitness, weight loss clients. I've got a couple of, I train a local ladies football team, do fitness training for them, and a local housing company as well, do boot camps for them. So they're sort of a bit more sort of, not really niche, but specialised stuff. But yeah, I'd quite like to move into sort of helping someone, obviously because of my background in cycling and triathlon, the performance-based stuff really does interest me. So I could maybe get some clients in the future along that lines. But to be honest, the general fitness and weight loss thing's working for me at the minute. I'm getting good results with clients. I'm getting a lot of recommendations from word of mouth. So I think it's working well. So why change it at the minute is the way I'm sort of thinking. The thing I'm sort of changing more is sort of the processes behind it, sort of like the business side of it, because obviously I'm learning that every day, different things that are coming up.
Absolutely. So what does your client base look like? What numbers are you happy and comfortable with right now in terms of along with your growth?
At the minute, I've got, I mean, if you have the two groups, the football team and the housing group, they sort of fluctuate from anything between 10 and 15 people per week. But then face-to-face, one-to-one clients, I've got 8 at the minute. Ideally, growth-wise, probably face-to-face, I won't be able to take on many more just because of time restraints with my life, obviously with the baby and family life and that sort of thing. But I'm looking, hopefully, at some point in this year, to move some things online as well, so I can take some more online clients, because the nutritional side of the thing that I do could be very much done online. In this sort of situation, Skype, emails, doesn't necessarily need to be face-to-face. So that's something I'm definitely looking at. But again, that's another minefield to...
you say minefield, as I said, as long as the information is presented in the right way. A lot of it does get complicated, and then, as I said, as soon as you get confused and it looks a bit bamboozling, I'm all for streamlining it, making it...
I mean, we've spoke previously in the group where I've said, I've sort of picked apart my business quite a few times over this year, just to sort of realise that maybe I was doing 4 steps when I could have been doing 1, or just like streamlining things down, and things are improving. Things are getting easier for me, which means things in the business get better, because obviously I'm not having to do 4,000 different things to achieve one outcome, whereas I can just do one thing to get one outcome.
Absolutely. My ethos, exactly. Michael's over Christmas period, we're talking about plans for the new year. Tristan put a couple of posts up talking about plans. Don't have to put it out there too much, but Michael always impresses me when he comes in the post. As I said, he's very acute in his vision and his targets and exactly what he's want to do in the step. Bearing in mind, he's only been in the PT business less than a year. I said the growth targets, everything else implemented, really impressed me, mate. And as I said, the fact that you're hitting them and you've done so much within that first year, that should be a massive incentive and positive viewing for those that are not quite there yet, that are, in the initial phases of what can be achieved within a very short space of time within this. When you do it right, you dedicate to it, and you're taking a big jump. You're going all in, but everything's in place. Talk to me about how how you put those plans in place, Michael. Your realistic expectations in tune with, you know, everything else along the growth lines and everything else. How do you actually set them, and what you feel is best to put those targets in place?
I think for me it was more. I think at the beginning I tried to do everything in one go. So I was trying to set up online, I was trying to set up face-to-face, I was trying to set up groups, I tried to start my own fitness class. I tried to do everything in one go because I thought if I throw myself at so many different things, it's gonna work. And it did to a point, but obviously it's hard work, it's stressful, you sort of explode a bit, you sort of never stop thinking about your business, and obviously with a family and life as well, that isn't the way I can do it as much as maybe some people can focus 24/7 on their business and work and work and work and work. I can't. So I sort of as I've said previously, I picked apart the business and just said, right, what do I want to focus on now? Focus on the one-to-one stuff first, get that working. Then the group sort of just fell in because they were there. They're there with the money. They're saying, we want you as a trainer. They just sort of fall in line. And then now working on the online stuff. Regarding setting goals, I think I just sort of try and do what I enjoy. If I'm enjoying it, it's not really work, is it? So you just sort of, I try and be as sort of enjoy it as much as I can, commit to it as much as I can, chat everything through with my wife, chat everything through with other friends, family, who I respect their opinion of. And if they say it's good, who am I to argue with them? You know, if they say my ideas are good, then let's go for it, let's do it.
But those bounce boards are brilliant, you know, and I think they're, as I said, one of the most underestimated things as well. You know, everyone, you know, I suppose it is a little bit different in this kind of in this personal training sphere, if you will, that, you know, it's probably a little bit different to going to your 9 to 5, coming back and then shutting off and what have you. But having those bounce boards at home with your friends and everything else, I've had some of the best, you know, advice and everything else. They haven't come from business people. They've come from people closest to me. So never underestimate that. And it's amazing.
I think for me, because obviously, like you say, I made the jump. I went from the full-time job to doing this. It sort of had to work in some respects, and sort of you just do what you can to make it work, because it has to work. Because obviously, I've got a house, I've got a family, I've got a life to support, and you just do what you can to make sure it works. And initially, that meant being in the gym, not doing something that I didn't enjoy. But then now to the point of really picking and choosing, to the point of when I want to train clients, how it works, how the clients come, where do I go to train them, even because obviously I work fully mobile. I live 2 minutes from the beach, so I train some clients on the beach, in the park, some in their homes, and it's really flexible, and it works well.
Really nice variance as well.
Yeah.
Oh, that's fantastic. Now, you touched on it a little bit before, Mike, about you're implementing social media, looking into it and ramping up your online marketing. In terms of like because you've had such fantastic results in your first year from start to where you are now, how do you set your expectations for the next year, and what your 6 month and say a year from now goals for where you want to be, and how much you want your business to have grown?
I think, to be honest, short-term goals is just to sustain it. I don't really think I want to massively. I don't really want to do things too quick, too soon now, because obviously I've got myself at a level where I'm happy with and it's working. And I think if you try and stick it up too quick, that could sort of fall by the wayside a little bit, the things that I've already built. Yeah. So I think really the short-term goal is just to sustain what I'm doing now, because I would probably say I've only really sort of settled client-wise and business-wise and being happy with what I'm doing probably the last 3 or 4 months. In terms of being happy with the service I provide, not happy with being a PT, more happy with the service I provide.
Okay.
But obviously, I've discussed with you. I've sort of found this company locally to me called Enterprise Made Simple, and they're basically a business growth company. So they offer sort of business training, residential courses around building a small business. So really longer term than goals for me, and more sort of to implement the things I'm learning on their courses. So next weekend I've got a 3-day residential course for them that hopefully is going to help me sort of pinpoint how I want my online service to work, and obviously there's going to be 30 or 40 other people in the room who they're not all personal trainers. They could be from any business, so they're going to be able to give an impact on how my business looks to them. So it's going to be really useful in terms of sort of seeing how it goes, how it is, and whether what I'm actually thinking in my head is going to work will actually work and does sort of come across right to the general public, because they're the people that buy my service at the end of the day. Yeah. So I think, the sort of longer term goals will be just to sort of grow the online side of it the right way. I don't just want to like sort of go 100 mile an hour into it and it to fall on its backside and fail, and then I'm back to square one where I am now. I want to sort of build it slowly, build it up, do it right with their help and with help of others, and make a success of it.
Fantastic.
No, really, that's sort of the longevity of the business, I think, for me, because obviously I'm not getting any younger. I'm 36. You see all these PTs in the gyms and everywhere, they're all like 19, 20-year-old lads, and so I think how you sort of think, obviously with the family as well, how long can you sustain the sort of face-to-face thing for? So I think the online side of the thing will give me a bit more of a longevity in the business and make it last longer.
I've seen all the guys in the group, and I'll speak from like a layman in terms of PT. I prefer to go with someone with experience, and and I say that even as someone at my age now. I'm thinking even as a young man, I still think I'd sway towards that. As you said, it's they're the ones. I'm not gonna cliche and stereotype it too much, because there are some fantastic young PTs out there, some absolutely brilliant ones. But if you're probably looking at the turnover, and I'll have to dig out the stats, but I was reading something recently that reflected it. The majority of personal trainers that enter the business and then leave as quickly are in that younger age bracket. There's multiple reasons for that, and vice versa. But so I think it balances it out across the board in terms of what clients are looking for. I just think there's so many different niches and markets and different types of people looking for different types of trainer.
Yeah, true.
But I think, absolutely. I do agree with you when you say going online will help, but I don't think it's the be all and end all. And I don't think I'd ever
go away from the face-to-face stuff 100%, because it's quite enjoyable. I quite like being in front of someone, chatting to someone. You get to know them. I mean, definitely a few of my clients now are definitely classed as friends, and we have, to be honest, we spend more time laughing than we do training sometimes in some of the sessions. But yeah, it's something that I sort of, I see the online side of it to give a bit more longevity in terms of being able to maybe get more clients in a shorter space of time, because obviously the face-to-face stuff takes a lot longer than the online stuff will.
I'm just going to reiterate something Michael said. It's really important. Growth will only come off the back of that sustainability and finding that balance to find that sustainability to allow you to grow. Without that, as Michael rightly said a minute ago, if you try and do too much and you try and go on too many paths, and as you said, that balance you found before and that sustainability you found before starts dwindling, you'll find yourself chasing your tail, and it just doesn't work like that. So it is absolutely critical to find that sustainability and that balance before you go and search out the growth side of it. So really good points. I thought important point to make on that. Another thing I picked up on what you're saying, which is another great tip for any relatively new personal trainers coming in, or even more experienced ones as well. The business stuff from local governments. There is a lot going on there, and sometimes people don't realize it's happening, where not only will they sometimes offer it percentages off or what have you, but sometimes they offer it for free for enterprises and local businesses. So do check out your local council if they've got any activities going on or anything else, just like Michael's doing. They can help you draw up plans and everything else. I said the value in that is so great, and as I said, a lot of people don't even think about that option to go and get that help. But I mean, you've already had help on that front already, Michael, and you got a lot of value out of it.
Yeah, it's definitely something that I didn't even realise existed, to be honest. Yeah. And it was another family member who owns a business said, "Why don't you get in touch with this enterprise? Made it simple. They do a lot of networking, this sort of thing." And to be honest, I was a little bit apprehensive at first, because I don't, as much as I've been doing it for a year, I still don't see it as a business. It's a bit more of a hobby. So I think so I went to them, and I had a one-to-one with them, and they basically said, "What's your business? sort of take all your details on where you're at now, where do you want to be. And then there was a 2-day non-residential course that I went on. Cool. And it sort of touched on things, but didn't sort of give you the bigger picture. It touched on the digital marketing, it touched on the bookkeeping, it touched on the branding. It just sort of little snippets of things. Yeah. And then I come away from it thinking, right, I need to go on the 3-day course that is going to give me all this information. And yeah, it was something that sort of just fell in my lap, to be honest. And they sort of give you your own business advisor. So yeah, I have regular one-to-ones with her. And it's to be honest, she doesn't know the personal training business at all, but she knows business. And they basically we meet and have a coffee, and I just basically pour out everything that's been going on in the business, and she says what she thinks is good, what she thinks is bad, different options. From sort of an outsider looking in, who's not a personal trainer, it's quite interesting, because obviously if I have an idea of a way to train someone or a way to market my business that I think will work, generally you find that, I don't know whether other personal trainers find this, but I find that sort of I'm trying to pitch my idea, but I'm sort of pitching it a bit to more personal trainers rather than to actual general public. Yep. So you'll put sort of jargon in there, you'll put sort of things in that only a personal trainer would sort of look at and go, oh yeah, that's a good idea. Yeah. So then you need to really dumb it down for the general public to sort of go, oh yeah, well that's me, I can do that. That would suit me. And that's what I think they've sort of brought to me, that it's an outsider looking in who's not connected to me as well, because obviously I think family and friends sort of, as much as they try and be objective, they obviously still have my best interest at heart, whereas these business advisors don't really give stuff, they're getting paid regardless, so they just give you it no holds barred sort of thing.
Absolutely.
And sometimes that's what you need after that works. I think it's and I've learnt a lot already, and like I say, I've got the 3-day business course next weekend. To be honest, I'm really excited, I'm really looking forward to it.
Fantastic. Well, let us know how it goes, Mike. Once you've been on it, go in the group, and if, as I said, you know, if anything to fast track or channel in, like Mike was just saying on the business side of it, get on that. Maybe we'll get a few links up and do that. But yeah, definitely let us know how you go on that. Right, super. We're just beyond the halfway point of the interview, and that brings us to a little bit of fun. We've got some fast-paced, quick-fire question, this or that round, Mike. If you're ready to roll on it.
Yeah, go for it, man.
Super stuff. I'm not sure if they'll keep this in. You guys are gonna have to let me know if to keep this in or not, if we in the comments and what have you. Tristan, I'll be relying on your expertise in terms of the professionalism of our PT Insight series as to whether this is necessary. But it's gone down well so far, I will say that. So hopefully it will carry on. Right, Mike, let's fire this out. Cardio or weights?
Weights.
Coffee or tea?
Tea, can't stand coffee.
Meal plan or chef it yourself?
Chef it myself.
Team or solo?
Probably sounds a bit mad as a mobile personal trainer, but team.
That's what it's in there. It's a tricky one as a PT. That's stumped everyone thus far, so you're not on your own. Massage or yoga?
Yoga.
Rich friend or loyal friend?
Loyal, every time.
No one's come up with a rich friend yet. I'm waiting for it.
No, I haven't got any rich friends either, so
yeah. Walking or running?
Running.
Swimming or reading?
Reading.
Workout alone or workout in groups?
I tend to do a lot of my training alone, so I work out alone.
Meat or vegetables?
Veg.
While walking, music or podcasts?
Podcasts.
I know that because you mentioned your podcast. You like your
podcast.
Yeah,
man. There's something I found fairly recently, and now I'm addicted. I love them.
You mentioned another one. It wasn't a PT relative one, wasn't it? We'll have to stick that in the links as well. It was a funny one you listened to, I think.
Yeah, there's quite a few, mate.
Get the whole list going. Email or letter?
Email.
Couch or recliner?
Couch.
TV or book?
A bit of both, but probably mainly TV more at the minute.
Triathlon or marathon?
Triathlon every time.
Passenger or driver?
former bus driver.
That's supposed to be a psychological question, and it's
No,
just
man,
made
just
it completely
drive.
practical.
I'm not a good passenger either, so no, driver.
Me neither. I'm a terrible passenger. Facebook or Twitter?
Facebook.
Nice client or wealthy client?
Nice client.
And the last one, holidays or home time?
Home time. I love time with the family at home, so the home, definitely.
Super stuff. Well done, mate. That was Quickfire. I think it's been quicker than our previous two, so we're going well. But as I said, we've got that in there, just a little bit of an insight into, it's a little bit psychological and everything else. So it's nice to pick the brains of our guests for the week, find out what makes them tick, and how they operate on that. So really helpful.
Cycling makes me tick. Cycling and music. That's all you need.
Just resound all questions around recycling and music. Right, last part of the interview, we're going to touch a little bit more on the business and a little bit of the other side of things as well.
Cool.
Name a couple of things people may be surprised to know about you, Mike.
Well, I've already sort of touched on it a little bit. I've competed in sport all my life. Triathlons most recently.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How highly have you competed on the triathlon front?
Say again?
How highly have you competed on the triathlon
nothing.
front?
No, just local.
Yeah.
Bloody hell, I'm not fit. But yeah, it's something I've always loved cycling. Cycling is my passion. Doing it myself, I'm professional cycling. And it was sort of a duathlon initially, a local one, got me into it. I thought, I enjoyed that. Let's stick a swimming. I live in Redcar. There's a local triathlon that basically starts about 2 minutes walk from my house.
Yeah.
So it was, let's give that a go. To be honest, I was never the greatest lover of the swim part. It was more get through it, get me on the bike, get me running.
Is that in the sea down up your way?
Yeah, right in the sea, right nice. In the seafront. But again, I've done pool triathlons, lake triathlons, sea, and the swimming just never really appealed to me. It was more get it done, get it over with.
Yeah.
But just quite like the sort of testing yourself. I was never really competing against everyone else in the race. I was only ever really competing against myself, just to see how I could do. And like I said, I never really got anywhere amazingly, but I always beat my times in previous years in races, and that was what it was all about for me more than anything. I've got friends who are still doing it. I mean, I'm no longer doing triathlons. Something I'll probably come on to in a minute. But I've still got friends who are doing it, who do Ironmans yearly, and they're like really, really committed and focused. And
we've probably got a few Ironmen in the group. I haven't asked yet, but I bet you we've got quite a few in the group.
Yeah, probably. I mean, it's something that never. It appealed to me, but I think the amount of training and commitment you have to put in for it doesn't really suit my lifestyle. I'm a family man at heart, and I think you've got to be fairly. I mean, it sounds pretty mean, but you've got to be pretty self-centered, I think, to do an Ironman, because you've basically got to be able to commit to doing 4, 5, 6 hour rides weekly, long swims, long runs, and
absolutely.
Yeah, it's something big, but like I say, the cycling thing for me has always been the passion.
Yeah.
And still is.
No, good. So this is a great question, because considering your freshness of being in that start to where you are within a relatively short space of time, you touched on like some of the problems you had going forward and everything else, and you mentioned that maybe I might do this. Is there one standout thing that if you could turn back now that you would do differently, or you would advise any new PTs coming in to say, right, make sure you get this right from the start?
Yeah, it's probably a few. I would definitely say follow your heart, follow your dream. Don't just be sort of swayed by what other people are offering you initially. Going back to the gym thing again for me.
Yeah.
What would I do differently? I think maybe I would probably just have took the step back earlier. So where I sort of threw everything at it and then sort of got stressed to hell and didn't know where the hell I was turning, and then picked the business apart, and I'd come in with a bit more of a plan, which maybe if I hadn't gone in the gym and that had failed, maybe I would have done a bit more of a plan. But to be honest, I started my own business with zero business plan, zero money, zero equipment, zero ideas of anything, and just
it's amazing what can be done off of zero.
Yeah, it was sort of, you're in the deep end now. Let's do it. But I think maybe it's just, I would probably have just got in with a bit more of a plan and a bit more of preparation than just sort of flying off the handle and saying I'm going to give this a go.
But it's worked out quite. Having said that, it's worked out pretty well.
Yeah, it's paid off, so why not? Just go for it.
Absolutely. So just jump in, both feet, don't hold back, follow your dreams type thing. Then.
Yeah, the thing is, what's the worst thing that when you feel and you've got to go back to the previous job?
Absolutely.
It wouldn't have been the end of the world.
No, that's it exactly. Any specific pitfalls? I know that we're talking about what would you do differently. Is there any pitfalls that you'd suggest to avoid?
I think for me, it would be all around the sort of payments and financing side of it. It was something that talking about money doesn't really sit comfortable with me anyway. So asking clients about how much and how often I want to pay and how they're going to pay me and you need to pay me now sort of thing was sort of something that always, it still isn't, to be honest, the most comfortable discussion for me. And I think I started off being a bit too flexible with it. I sort of said, right, this is how much I charge per session. If you block book, this is how much it'll cost you. And you've got those sessions, not this is when they need to be used by, this is how they need to be used by, cancellations, blah, blah, blah. Yeah. So to be honest, at the beginning, I had clients who would get 8 sessions off me, which would be 2 a week for a month, and take 3 months to use them.
Really?
And it's not, obviously, it was a good way for me to sort of appear dead friendly and appear dead like, don't worry about it, just pay me when you pay me. Yeah. But then this is where I come back to, I need to start thinking of it as a business rather than a hobby. Yeah. Get your sort of processes and contracts in order. I think I asked for someone on the group about a contract and someone sent me one. That basically, as much as it seems very formal, it's just a bit of backup, isn't it? I suppose that the fact that if I cancel a session, then fair enough, that needs refunding or that needs rescheduling. But if you're cancelling with half an hour to go, especially for me, who might have to travel half an hour to that session, it's not ideal. So if you're doing it, you're getting charged, simple as. And I think that's where I fell down initially, and that's what the business advisors taught me, and that's what I sort of I would have worked out myself eventually, but obviously you get a bit quicker when you've got someone who's looking from the outside in, type of thing.
So would you suggest getting that in place as soon as you possibly can then, early doors? Because you just touched on a little bit of a balance there where you're like, the client was getting to know me, getting a little bit of trust. Yeah. Is there a balance, or would you still say no, just let everyone know where they stand straight away and get it in place?
I don't know. It's hard. I think I sort of did it a bit too informal. Okay. I think there's probably a middle ground where you could start at. But I think I probably did it a little bit too informal initially, where it was just zero contract. There was nothing. It was literally put your personal details on that form, do me a PARQ, do me an informed consent, and that's all I've got. Whereas there probably should have been a little bit of a, not so much you'll pay me on this date every month and without fail and you will give me your money sort of thing. But more of a, if you cancel short notice, you're still getting charged. If I cancel, we'll rearrange. If you give it a bit more notice, like it's just some sort of goalpost, if you like, where you can work in. Because I think maybe I definitely started too informal, and now I've gone full contract route. Maybe I've gone too far the other way, but that'll remain to be seen.
No, that makes sense. So find the middle ground then, if possible, but and don't go too far.
I think I sort of left it too long, where once the client sort of becomes an established client and quite friendly with you, it's hard to then go back on. Absolutely. So I think if you set it up initially, you're rocking and rolling, and you haven't got anything to go back on because you've already put it in place, so you're all right.
Yeah, don't make a rod for your back by being doing early. Especially with we've touched on it before, especially with friends and people that you're familiar with already.
Yeah, I think the other thing as well. Obviously, I don't have any overheads in terms of gym rent. Whereas if you had gym rent, and if I had gym rent at that time, I'd have been struggling because the clients were cancelling, the clients were rearranging sessions, and I didn't have anything to sort of say, well, you pay for that, you still pay for that session. So if I had to pay gym rent, then you need your rent come from somewhere, so you need that contract to ensure you're getting the income.
Yeah, no, that makes perfect sense. Exactly that. So wrapping up now. So we're coming up to the end now. Being a personal, I said you've mentioned it briefly there, Mike, about your pros of moving away from bus driving and becoming a personal trainer. What is the best thing for you in terms of doing what you're doing previously into doing what you're doing now? The number one standout thing for you being a personal trainer now?
Selfishly, it's the flexibility. I sort of pick and choose when I want to work. But really the biggest difference and the biggest drive for me is just helping people. It's just seeing those differences. Someone who comes to you literally can't move, has got hardly any ability, to now being able to do a full squat, no problem, with a barbell on the back. It's an amazing feeling. And because really I've got them there. And I think that's the biggest driver for me doing this job. Really, it's helping others. I love, especially around health and fitness. I always say that the health and fitness industry is in the best shape and the worst shape because there's so many gyms and so many PTs now. But there's also, you walk on any high street, there's about 20 different takeaways you can go in. Yeah. So sort of it's in the best shape of its life and the worst shape of its life because everyone can eat crap and do no exercise if they want. But there's so many different avenues out there to get fit and healthy that, I think when I see the difference in results, that's the main driver, and see the difference in people. It's fantastic.
Joe, that's awesome as well. And this is where I think the cream will rise to the top. Though we touched on it earlier, and you were saying to have an actual passion and it feel like it not being a job and just wanting to do it every day. I think that's what separates it, and that's why I think the PT group, as I said, as a whole, as you said, is in the best shape. Because as I said, what you guys do is absolutely amazing. You're helping people get healthier, get fitter, and there's not many other jobs in the world where you can get paid to actually enrich someone's life. It's pretty amazing.
Yeah.
And like I said, the ones that fall off, those PTs that do not have their heart in it, and that isn't what their sole focus is, to help everyone, and they are in it mainly for that element straight off the bat. They're the ones that disappear quicker than the ones that genuinely do have the heart and do it and go.
I think you see so many adverts out there that earn 30, 40, 50 grand a year to being a PT. Yeah. Yes, some do, but I think the majority don't, and that's where the passion's got to come in, and that's where the love of it's got to come in.
Yeah, absolutely. And exactly. And if you haven't fought those hard battles coming through and fought to where the point you are now, then, as I said, you probably not got that bigger edge as some of the others have as well. So it makes sense. As I said, cream will always rise to top, which is why we've got such fantastic guys like you in the group as well, and it's filled in. So, and all helping each other, which is absolutely brilliant. And on that fantastic positive note, Mike, thank you so much for coming on, mate. Really appreciate it. It's been, as I said, I wanted to do this one because it has given us a different insight into not just from the business perspective, from the practical elements coming in on the setup and coming through within a short space of time. I think it's been a real eye opener. So even the more experienced guys that have been doing it for a while now, the game has changed. It changes all the time, and you know those early baby steps into it do change all the time. So it's really important, and to not just keep on top of your game, but to know what's going on in those phases as well. So been an absolute fantastic insight, and some of the little nuggets you've given in there, Mike, are going to be a great help to everyone out to everyone watching as well, mate. So I really appreciate that.
Excellent.
I always say at the end of our episodes, every guest that we come on, we do like to return a compliment, so to speak. And is there any links we can go to help you out, Mike?
So obviously I'm on Facebook. It's Athlos Personal Training UK, and on Instagram it's Athlos PT UK. I'm pretty sure if you put Athlos PT UK on Facebook as well, I do come up. Awesome. There's a website, but it's still not finished, so I won't market that yet. I'm going to stay as it is.
That's cool. We'll get those links up anyway. So go and help Mike out. Go and have a visit. Give him a couple of likes over there. And as I said, just return a compliment for doing this fantastic live guest interview for Sky.
If anyone does want to get in touch for a chat or ask anything, obviously I'm always available on messages and stuff. Just drop me a message.
Absolutely fantastic. That's absolutely brilliant, Mike. Thanks so much for that. Brilliant. The next installment will be in a couple of weeks, guys. Those of you that this is your first time, we do aim to do it fortnightly, so we'll be getting that up in the group. So keep an eye on that as well, and we shall catch you all soon. Thanks again, Mike. It's been brilliant. Thank you.
Thank you.
Cheers, guys. Bye.